Our goal is to do things that no other law firm has ever done before.
Our technology brings the future to you today.
We're the next era in the way legal transactions are handled.
Perfect. Okay, cool. Very good, guys. So you guys can type your questions as we go. And then I have somebody who's helping me moderate. His name's Shihab. Hello, Shihab. So if you go to message me, just put it publicly so everybody can see it. And then Shihab's going to send me the message so that I can answer you. Now, let me minimize this. Perfect. Okay. This is a big session that we're going to be doing today. It's actually not going to take a lot of time. So it's actually going to be a shorter session than I normally do with you guys. But what we're going to be covering today is apps that convert real estate leads. So if you're in a situation where you have traffic on your website, you're paying Google, you're paying Facebook, and you're paying other people to drive traffic to your website, but you're not getting people filling in the forms, giving you name, phone number, and email. These are my top 3 programs that I use to help out with that. And combined, the 3 of these have got us thousands of leads where that would have been in addition to other people that we paid for. So a lot of this was just the organic stuff, the people that were on our website, and we would capture them. So I'm going to show you step by step exactly the ones that we use, how and why. These are the links to each of the programs. I'm going to email you the links as well. Once this is recorded, I'm going to put the links in the description of the video. So you can just take a screenshot of that right now. But here's the main key. If you don't have any traffic, you don't need any of these. Because if you don't have traffic, then the pop-ups aren't going to pop up and the chat's not going to chat and the call isn't going to call. Like there's nothing going to happen because you don't have traffic. So if you don't have traffic, don't pay for other things like this. I really don't like encouraging people about products because they tend to just buy things, which is awesome, except if you don't have traffic, you're going to be paying for something you don't need. So these don't help you get traffic. This is only if you already have traffic, then you're going to leverage this. So Sumo, Call Page, and Intercom. I'll go through each one and show you what each one is. Sumo used to be called Sumo Me. Now, this is the #1 tool that I would suggest of the 3. If you only needed one, it would be this one. As you can see, we collected 2,346 emails in the green box, and on the orangey yellow box to the right, that works out to 9% conversion, 9 to 10% conversion. So if you have 9 or 10% conversion on traffic that you're paying for, that is awesome. This is even awesomer if you have 9 to 10% conversion on the free traffic, meaning the people that are already on your website. So that's what this is for. I'm getting 9 to 10% using the Sumo tool. Sumo has a couple programs. Like over on the left, you'll see there's a couple options here. There's the list builder, the smart bar, contact form. All of these are different add-ons that they have. The only 2 that you need to worry about is called the list builder and the smart bar. So this right here is an example of what the smart is. It's up at the top of our website. In the orangey box, it says, "Don't miss tomorrow's listings delivered by email. Enter your email address, subscribe now." So that's at the top of every page. Most of you, when you have a website, you'll have a contact form, and it's like at the bottom of the page, and it's buried. You don't need that. What you need is prominent for people to be able to subscribe and easily contact you. So I have the smart bar at the top of every page. The other product that we use with Sumo is the pop-up. Now, pop-ups are super annoying, but why I like Sumo is that it will only pop up when the people are already leaving the website. So if you go to a website right away, as soon as you get there, it pops open. That's annoying. People don't like that. But if a person is on your website and you're using the Sumo list builder, which is what this is, it has a rule, and you can say only pop up if the people are clicking the back button, changing the URL, or exiting the website altogether. If that happens, then it will pop open. I mean, they're already leaving anyway, so you might as well try and capture them. It is also smart, meaning it knows what page the people are on, and it will pop open with the right message. So if they're on your seller page, it will pop open with your seller message. If they're on the buyer page, it will pop open with your buyer page. So it's based on the URL that the people are looking at. And I'll show you an example of us setting that up. So that's a really cool tool. The other one that I'm really liking nowadays, I just started using it, is this one called Call Page. Now, remember back in the day in real estate when you actually talk to people? Well, that's what Call Page does. It helps you with people actually picking up the phone and calling. Down at the bottom is this little phone icon. It puts this at the bottom of your icon so that people can click the button that says, would you like to receive a free callback in 28 seconds? And there's a little phone icon. When the people click on that, it pops open and says, would you like to receive a free callback in 28 seconds? And they'll enter in their phone number and hit yes, or they'll hit no, call me later, and they'll set a day and time. When I call, so what happens is when they fill in their phone number and hit yes, my phone starts to ring and Call Page tells me that I have a lead and to press 1 to connect. I basically hit 1, it starts calling them back. They answer the phone. I'm like, hey, it's Danny Wood. You asked me to give you a call. And they are blown away at the speed of which it happens. And I'm a little blown away at the fact that it would have been easier for them to just call me themselves because they had to type in their phone number here and hit a couple buttons. But if they just picked up the phone and dialed my phone number, which would have been the same number of numbers as their own phone number, it would have been easier. But anyways, people are actually using this tool, and it's cool to actually get a live voice on the phone. So you could have this on your CMA page, your house value page. You could have it when people are looking at the map of all the listings in your area, and you could have a little thing that pops open that says, would you like to book showings, ask questions, or get listed? I'm here for you. Just give me a call. That would be cool. And it's actually working. I know other agents that are using this and it's working out really, really well. The third product is called Intercom. Now, I don't know what this red line is, how that appeared. So sorry about that. It's going to be recorded, unfortunately. But Intercom is interactive chat. So down at the bottom, you can't see it because there's this red line for some reason, but down at the bottom is this little chat box. I discovered a product very similar to this called Zopum. Oh man, it was years ago, like 2010. I found it while I was at a conference. I left the conference as soon as I heard about it, went back to my hotel, spent a couple hours setting it up, and by dinner that evening, I had 16 leads specifically through the chat box. Since then, I've told a lot of agents that they should be using it, but a lot of agents set it up and they don't actually reply to the people. And I mean, you might as well not even have it. But if you are going to reply to the people, it's such a good converting tool. So it'll pop open with a little message. So here's an example on Intercom. It says, they say, we make it simple and seamless for businesses and people to talk to each other, ask us anything. And then the consumer or the client would start chatting. A couple real estate examples would be, do you want a list of the new listings tomorrow? Message us your email and we'll set it up. So if people are looking at our listings, it will pop open with that little reminder. And it's a gentle nudge, a little call to action. A lot of people will just reply and say, no thanks, not interested. But the people that do reply, as soon as they reply, it will alert you on your phone because you're going to install it on your phone as an app. And then you have a real conversation with a real person in real time. And you're like, okay, that's great. What's the best email? Okay, sure. And what area are you looking at? And you just start scripting them. If it's a seller, call the action that you want. We would say, do you want a free report on what your home could sell for? Are you thinking of moving? Question mark. And then who knows what people are going to enter into the box. But if they don't have that box, you're not really giving them the opportunity. And what's cool about this is that it gives them the option to have a conversation without filling in a registration form. A lot of people have questions, but they don't want to give you their name, phone number, and email just to ask the question. But with this type of tool, it allows them to start the conversation by asking the question, and then it would be dependent on your skills to actually convert them into an actual lead by getting their name, phone number, and email, but at least you've got a conversation. So this Intercom tool, I use Intercom now. I used to use Zopum. There's pros and cons to both. I actually would suggest both. They're both pretty cool products. So look at Intercom, look at Zopalm, check out the pricing, see what one works best for you. Now, these are the links again. I'm going to pull them up so that you can take a screenshot. And as a huge reminder, if you don't have traffic, you don't need any of these three. And I want to give a big shout out to Nextera Law Group for providing this upload. So that's today's sponsor. I'm going to close this video. And okay, so apparently there was a line across my screen the whole time. I am lucky that we even got to do this webinar today because my computer crashed and I have to reinstall everything from factory default. And I didn't want to do that before the webinar because stuff like this keeps happening. So I'm glad we're on the call, but unfortunately there's 2 red lines. This is an example of the real estate landing page that we created in the past. So if you're new to this group coaching program, every 2 weeks we do a group coaching call, and every 2 weeks I tackle something new and show you how to set it up. So a couple weeks ago, I actually set up this real estate landing page for free from scratch. So if you need a real estate landing page, check out that video. It's in the archive. Now, look at this tool at the top. It says, don't miss tomorrow's listings delivered by email. Enter your email address, subscribe now. When I scroll down, you're going to notice that it disappears. Same thing when the consumers are there. So when they're interacting with your website, it has a subtle motion to it. So it'll appear and disappear subtly, and it catches the eye. Of all the content on the page, like I have call to action here, text me. Up here, this is where we're getting a lot of conversion. It's just a call to action at the top of every page that you have. So that's the Sumo Smart Bar. That's what that one is. If you want to see, down here at the bottom right is the call button. So if I click on that, it says, would you like to receive a free callback in 28 seconds? I would enter my phone number and hit yes. And then if I did that, my phone would start ringing. I'm not going to do it. But it also has a subtle little motion. When people come to your website, it'll appear with a little bit of motion at the bottom right of the screen, drawing the eye to it. There's even a little pop-up box that says, would you like a free callback in 28 seconds? And when the people click it, obviously they can go through the action and you'll get a lead that way. The other product I want to show you, house values. So I'll go to the house value page. So I don't know if it will work. I'm going to try and move my mouse to the top. Okay, see how my mouse moved to the top as if I was to change the URL, or if I was going to hit the back arrow, or if I was to hit the close on the tab. It triggered this box to pop up. It says, what's my home worth today? Address, describe property, first name, last name, email, blah, blah, blah. This is what's getting us that 9 to 10% on average, is the people who are already leaving our website. So you might as well, if you have traffic, really important, then add this product. The other cool thing that Sumo list builder creates is a button. So let me show you an example. Let me go to the MLS listing page. A lot of you have a form that is way more detailed than this. It's asking what's the age of the property you're looking for, what's the square footage, what's the property type, what's the price, what's like, you might as well ask them for a fax number and their SIN number. You ask for so much info. Shorten your forms as much as possible. So this is a really clean form that we use. It just says describe the property in their own words. They'll describe it instead of a million drop downs. But look at the difference when I go back to the house value page and scroll down. It's a lot cleaner because of this little button. So when I click on the button, the pop-up will appear. So that's really cool that some of you do have longer forms and it takes up so much of the screen. If you want to condense that, you can use this little button by using the Sumo list builder, and you can create a button using that. So that's really cool. I'm going to go to the open house page, and you're going to notice at the bottom right, it's not going to be the phone icon. it's actually going to be a little chat box. So it would know to say message. So this one says, would it help if alerted to new listings tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. You can customize whatever you want that to say. And you can also have it be rule-based. So because all of these programs we're on right now know what URL we're on the open house tab, I told it, do not show the phone button, instead show the intercom button, and that's the little chat box. So what's really powerful about this is because you'll know what page the people are on, you can have different things trigger based on what they're looking at. If they're looking at the house value page, obviously you would have a house value call to action and or a house value chat box up here. If the people are on a buyer page, then it would appear with the buyer message. So there you go. So I use these tools and they have helped us convert thousands of leads and not at much more of a greater price. Let me show you the pricing of these things. So Sumo, if I go to Sumo, so there's a free version, which is awesome. You can sign up for that. The only reason I pay, and I pay this one here, it's $29 a month, is because I want to remove their branding, which isn't that big of a deal, but also I want it to integrate. So when a person fills in the Sumo Smart Bar or the list builder, that it will automatically add it to my database. All of that is dependent on if your database will integrate with Sumo. So I'll show you the integrations in just a second, but if it won't integrate, you don't need to pay for that because it won't integrate anyways. So you might be able to get away with just the free version, but I use this one. So that's the pricing. And I think we had a question. Let me check. When do I do the coaching call? I do the coaching calls every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, you'll get an email about when our next call is. Today, our call is happening now. And then in 2 weeks, there'll be another call and I'll announce what that topic is going to be about and the date and time. And I usually do that within a 48 period of the last session. So within 48 hours of right now, I'll be posting this video. And when I do that, I'll let you know about the next call. Cool. Okay, so that's the pricing for Sumo. It's really good. Let me show you the Smart Bar. Wait, what's this? Yeah, this is the Smart Bar. So it puts a little bar at the top of your page. You can customize the colors, the message. You can it works on mobile devices as well, so it's mobile optimized, which is awesome. They're saying 24%. I'm only getting 9 or 10%, but I mean 9 or 10% is a lot more than 0, which is what I was getting before. The list builder is the other main product. I mean, they have like 5 or 6 other products. You only need to look at these 2, in my opinion. The list builder, so this is that pop-up. When the people are leaving your website, it will pop up with whatever your call to action is, and you can use different colors. I think you can even use images. So say you had an image of a call to action that had a free download for a book you have or something. You can have a picture of the book maybe. I'm not exactly sure on that, but regardless, I know you can change the text and the colors perfectly fine. So that's cool. Now, the pricing for call page. So this is call page. This one's a little pricey. It's $59 a month. They do have a trial for 7 days. So I would suggest try it. And if you don't get anybody using it during that 7-day period, then either you don't have enough traffic or the people in your area don't like talking on the phone. But if you do put it on and you even got like a couple of phone calls a month, I would say it might be worth it because people who call you and real live conversations are probably the best leads that you can get. But if you're only getting like 1 or 2 a month, I ideally want to pay $60 a month. So that one is a little on the higher end for what it does because you're not going to get nearly as many conversions. I would say most of you do the Sumo for sure. Call page is cool, but you'll want to experiment with it. For sure. I would definitely suggest experimenting. Intercom is also a pricey one. If I go to the pricing, So the pricing is actually pretty expensive in my opinion. They have one that's $53 a month, $53 a month, $43 a month. They have a whole bunch of different options. I'm pretty sure this is the one that I would suggest. It's the live chat. So if I go to, oh, yeah, okay, hold on. If I go to view more, here's a video. Hopefully you can watch that. And there's a question. I'll answer the question after the video.
With Intercom's live chat solution, people can ask you questions and you can proactively reach out to them based on what they're doing on your site and in your app.
So in that video, it basically shows you the basics of that tool. So you can say, if a person goes to your, actually I typed up the questions for you because all this is complicated. So I typed up, if you were to get an Intercom account, I already typed up the email that you would send them. You would send them this. It says, love the product. I have 3 things I'd like to do, but all this is overwhelming. Can you please help me with this? Number 1, I'd like to add a chat bot to my website. I'd like a universal message to appear on all pages. Book showings, ask questions, or get listed. We're here to help. That would be really cool. Imagine you had that appear on all of your pages and it was an interactive chat box. People would actually start typing to you. Then, question number 2, on my seller page, and you're going to change this link to whatever your seller page is, you all have, if you have a website, all real estate websites have 2 main things: a house value form and a dream home finder or something along that nature. So you're going to have to navigate to find out what your URL is and change the URL, but you're going to say, on my seller page, you'll change the URL, I'd like this message to appear. Interested in what you could sell for? We could get you a report specific to your street. ... And leave them hanging. And then they'll just reply back and be like, oh yeah, sure. And then you'll get notified on your phone and you can be like, okay, great, what's the address? And then you start having a real conversation. The problem with the older program, Zopum, was that people were too dependent on it being automated, which sounded really cool, but it's a really terrible customer experience because the person will ask a question and then the automation is going to give them not the right answer. It's going to ask them another question instead of answering the one that they just had. It's just like a really bad experience. So let me read this question that we got. Oh, no more questions. Okay, perfect. The third question that I would email Intercom would say, on my buyer page, and then you would put a link to your buyer page. I'd like, don't miss tomorrow's listings that match your criteria. We can email you a daily alert. Just let us know the best email to use. Unsubscribe anytime. So if a person is looking at listings and that pops up on their screen, a bunch of people are just going to be like, no, go away, just shopping or just looking or whatever. But a few of the people actually will respond and be like, okay, that's cool. And they'll just enter their email. Now that you got their email, you can take their email them. If they're not replying back to the chat, you'll just email them and say, hey, you wanted us to set you up on homes that match your criteria. What exactly are you looking for? I'll set that up today. Until you reply, I've set you up for all listings that hit the market. And then going forward, they'll be on a daily drip of all the listings that either match their criteria, or if they didn't give you any criteria yet, just send them every listing that hits the market until they unsubscribe or reply. I typed up the same message for Sumo. So you could email them, say, I love the product. I have a few ideas I need help with, and just copy and paste and send that to them. Both of them have, all 3 of the companies have a really good onboarding process and support team that will help you walk through it. So if you just create a username and password with each of the accounts, give that to your admin or whoever helps you set stuff up, they'll be able to get this going for you. I typed up the questions that will get you the answers that you're looking for. You might have your own questions on, well, how do I customize the color and how do I integrate this? Those are questions that you'll ask those companies and they'll tell you the answer, yes or no. So that's cool. So go ahead and ask your questions. I'm going to pop into the back end of Sumo. And let's create a new form. So I'm going to create a new form. My goal is to collect emails. My form type. So this is where I say, do I want it to be a pop-up? Or do I want it to be the smart bar? So you could create two different ones, one for the smart bar, one for the pop-up. So let's just do the smart bar for now. And it shows you an example over on the right. So you can design it. So it would be like, I want orange, or no, I want like this tealy looking color. So you can find colors that work with you. You can also customize the colors as well. You can change the text by clicking on the text and then rewriting the message. So whatever you want to write here, you would just type it in. Visibility, this is where you create the rules. So detect the best time and place to show, you could choose that. Sticky, smart bar moves along with the reader. I have it hide on scroll down is the option that I choose. I have it at the top. I have it always showing. And you can create different rules of like when to show it, when not to show it. They do have integrations, connect with email service. So I use Infusionsoft, so mine's already connected with Infusionsoft. I mean, it uses MailChimp, Aweber, GetResponse, Constant Contact. A lot of you use HubSpot. If you don't find yours on this list, iContact, there is a backup plan right here, Zapier. If you don't find your system on this list, go to zapier.com. I'll type out a link for you later because it gets you 100 free Zaps a month. But if you go to zapier.com and look at all the products that they integrate with, you might find your database. And if it's there, then you can integrate it that way. All of these products are in Canadian dollars. No, all of these products are in American dollars. Unfortunately, all the cool stuff. And even the companies that aren't American, like I think callpage.io, I think they're like in Poland or something, and they charge in US dollars. So it's all US. Good question. So there's a lot of Americans on the call, so it won't make any difference to you. For the Canadians on the call, it means like a 30% increase. So yeah, so you have to kind of play around with it. They have a support team that will answer your individual questions. But what I wanted to do really was just to inspire you on the 3 different tools and show you the 3 different ways that I use it. If I was to create a webinar of me setting up from beginning to end from scratch, it would take literally hours to do all 3. So I don't want to bore you with this. I want to keep this webinar short and sweet and just give you the fire and spark and interest to point you in the direction so that you can dig a little deeper and say, hey, I watched this webinar, I want to do that too. Another question, can you use these products on more than one site if you have multiple? And the answer is yes. I have my group coaching website. I have my Brokerage Nation website and my Dan Wood website. And I have these products on all 3, and I'm not paying per website. I pay a monthly fee for each of them, and I just have it working on all 3. So that's a really good question. Are there any other questions? If there are questions, let me pull this up, type up my email. Okay, that's my name, my email, my phone number. So after we end this recording, if you still had questions or we're in the middle of typing a question, you can call, text, or email me anytime. I'm going to message this in the chat. I'm also going to put the links to all of the 3 programs that I just talked about. So hopefully that helps you guys with getting more leads. We're not going to do an hour-long session today. We're just going to do a half hour because it doesn't take an hour to talk about what I just did. But I really appreciate you guys being with me. I'm going to post when and where the next session is. and that'll be within 48 hours. I just really hope that this recording works because I'm having major issues with my computer. Cool. Okay, I guess there's one more question and then we're good to go. And everybody who's here, thank you. And there you go. People are just saying thanks. Okay, yes. Thank you, everyone. Talk to you later. Bye.
Hey, if you want to close more real estate transactions, get more buyer leads, and get more seller leads, click this button right here. It'll take you to our real estate group coaching page. Also, if you like this video and want more, you can subscribe by pressing this, or you can check out some of my past videos here. Enjoy!